You don't see how I think the Big Bang is true? How is it that you think that anything is true? By what means do you use to arrive at that conclusion?
I mean, the evidence that we see.
Okay. Tell me something you believe in.
Um, that I don't know. There's a door in front of me right now.
Okay. And how did you come to understand that?
I can walk up to it and touch it and see it, and
Okay, cool. If other people said that there are doors in places that you have never in your life been to, would you believe them?
yeah.
What would it take for you to believe them?
Knowing that there's one in front of me, there could possibly be one in front of someone else.
So because you already know what a door is, that helps you understand when somebody says there's a door in front of them, that helps. Okay. So like
Yeah.
if they put a picture of it up somewhere, that would be good enough for you.
No, if they told me, that would be good enough.
So you wouldn't even have to see any physical evidence, you would just go by hearsay.
Yeah, based on what I can do. Yeah, or what I can envision and see is possible. Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you believe in the Big Bang?
Well, because I mean, you look up, not you look around specifically, but you see where and how things have happened, and it's really hard to think that it just all popped up, you know, one day billions and billions of years ago.
So do you agree that the universe is expanding?
Yeah.
Well, then you believe in the Big Bang
Why? You don't
because
think it was expanding?
that's what it is.
You don't think it was expanding for all of eternity?
There are weird ways in which it can like was it Penrose has this, I always forget exactly how it works, but he has this idea of like eternal inflation. And I don't remember, it's not the same thing as like the Big Bang just keeps banging and then contracting. So it's, I don't know. There's this weird idea out there that works like that, but I don't remember the specifics of it.
Oh.
Shame on me, I guess. But no, if it's currently expanding, then run the clock backwards and everything we see collapses into a state that the laws of physics don't really, like, we don't really know exactly what's going on, but it doesn't contract into negative space. I don't even know how the hell that could work. So it kind of seems to stop at some point. But if you think the universe is expanding, I don't know how you could have a problem with the Big Bang.
Oh
Unless you
well.
think that
Well,
scientists are trying to tell you that the Big Bang was when nothing turned into everything, which is what a lot of people think it means, but no scientist has ever said that.
um. So what do you think was there before? Do you think there was multiple Big Bangs? Do you think there was something before the Big Bang too?
So I don't take an actual stance on anything. I've heard different possible arguments that are born out of, the physics and the math. And so all that does is allow me to say, well, so this does it. We don't have to invoke something external that's like causative because it's not necessary. Nothing about the models we have precludes, preclude, but that wouldn't be the right way to say it. But nothing about the current models and ideas we have necessitates some outside thing.
But do you think that that outside thing would be necessary for tech? If the Big Bang was true, do you think it would be necessary for it to happen, or do you think it just was spontaneous and it's just, out of nowhere? It just happened to be.
I don't really have an opinion.
Oh, so you don't think everything is determined by something else?
Um, that's probably the case. Are you talking about like philosophical things are necessary or contingent?
Yeah, just things being necessary for other things to happen, or do you think just everything was just very spontaneous and it just happened, randomly?
Well, I don't know what the hell it means for something to happen randomly, but I don't know why the Big Bang started happening. I don't know why the universe as we see it started expanding like it did. Uh, I don't know why, but I don't see any reason why I have to commit to, well, whatever made that happen was a philosophically necessary thing. I
Okay. Well, I mean, so well, I guess I'd have to ask you then, why do you think that so you think this world was made, and all of these things just happened, at the eh, really like impossibility of a chance. You think it just came together, just because obviously there's multiple universes, but you think everything just, was
Is that obvious?
I mean, yeah, no, I'm asking you though. Well, that's obviously what you believe then, right?
No.
Oh, what's your take on it?
There might be multiple universes, but I don't claim that there are.
You don't think that there's multiple universes?
I there could be, but I don't know that there are. I don't know how I could possibly know that that there's well, like the thing about multiverse that people don't get is it doesn't mean that there are like it sounds so weird. Multiverse doesn't mean there's more than one universe. What it
Mm,
means is beyond the observable universe,
mm.
uh there may be, there's more universe, but it has different arranged fundamental constants. So, like the laws of physics in it are different, but it's not. That doesn't mean it's like a parallel unit. Like parallel universe is kind of, sort of, I think what people mean when they think of multiverse, but that's not really what it is.
Okay. I had a question I was gonna ask you. I literally just forgot. Um, yeah. So do you? So then, okay. So how do you think that these all this just life and everything happen to come together in a cold, dark universe?
Chemistry
Oh, that's the question I was gonna ask you. Do you think that there's life apart from our universe, or is it just that I don't know? I mean, not our universe, this world.
on Earth.
But
I
yeah.
mean, like, I, it's kind of like, how do I want to say it? It's this weird sort of thing where, like, I don't like, look, we haven't seen life anywhere else. So, like, I
Uh,
don't, it's kind of weird to say I believe in aliens, but I believe that it just would make zero sense that this would be the only place where living organisms are. So, like, in a way, I believe that there's life somewhere else, which has always felt a little weird to me because it's sort of like a contradiction of how I feel about, other things like multiverse, like what caused the Big Bang. I just kind of am agnostic on it. But with this one, I'm like, there's just no freaking way that there isn't life somewhere else in this universe.
so if that's the case, and the statement above the Big Bang evolution, do you think those creatures could have evolved over this billion-year period of time to be something like astronomically smarter than us, and or dumber than us, or just yeah? So you're just agnostic on it then.
Basically, yeah.
All right. Well,
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say like I'm agnostic in the sense that I don't know, but like strict agnosticism, at least for me, means you don't think you can know. So that's not how I feel about it. But we just don't know. But I think the odds just have to be overwhelmingly large that it's basically a guarantee.
right. Okay. So do you think this was bound to happen? Life on Earth?
Um, Well, that's kind of a weird question because like I don't believe there's a teleology to the universe at all. So like bound to
What does
happen
that
as
mean?
in like it
What does that
was
mean?
inevitable.
Theoretically.
Well, it could have like not happened, but at the same time, I think we live in a deterministic universe, not necessarily hard deterministic, but so like I think
What
10
do you
billion
mean?
years ago, if you knew the conditions of
Yeah.
everything in our particular region of space, you could have known that life would have emerged on planet Earth because it's just the laws of physics, bruh, doing what they do. So,
Okay. So if we were to go back, well, did you say 10 million years ago and see the
billion.
billion? Yeah. If we were to go back 10 billion years ago, and what do you think the chances would have been of this happening?
Well, I don't know how to answer this question because it's weird because, you know,
Hmm.
it happened and
Right.
I'm kind of a determinist, right? So it's like, well, does that mean it was guaranteed to happen? That's obviously not how that works, right? Like,
Okay.
so I don't know how to describe that really.
Okay.
Just because something happens doesn't mean that in the past the odds were 100%, right? That's not how it works. But even if I knew the proper way to describe that, I would have no idea how to calculate the odds. I think that life probably is extraordinarily um, uncommon on planets that have like liquid water and decent temperatures. That might
Right.
actually be the case, but again, the universe is so unthinkably big that there's still a guarantee of huge amounts of life.
Okay. All right. So you said you're a determinist, but not a hard determinist. What do you mean by that?
Um, so I think that like if you could somehow like know the initial conditions of a system, then you'll know what it'll do in the future. And that includes everything from like human behavior. I don't believe in free will. But there are some very odd things in physics that have been demonstrated over the last like 10 years. Different demonstrations of Bell's theorems that really, it kind of depends on what your sort of metaphysical or philosophical stance on quantum mechanics is. But there's a way to interpret them where in in it just there's no room for hard determinism in there because there are some things that are just fundamentally uh, unknowable and unpredictable. So the couple years ago, there's a Nobel Prize that got won for these people that really truly proved that the universe isn't locally real. I was actually just last night watching. Oh yeah, I got a message. I got a message a friend about this, but I was watching a video last night about um, polarized light filters. There's this really weird thing you can do with them where the amount of light that ends up passing through them completely breaks every kind of model you can draw about the physics of what's happening, and it's as if future events affect past events. It's a very very
Whoa.
very weird case. And so because you cannot construct a model that in the end actually predicts what is like we plug in everything we know about the physics and you like create a diagram, you make an abstract like a model for it or whatever, and the all the assumptions of it are perfectly rational, but then when you do the experiment in the real world, the wrong number of photons go through it every single time and it just makes absolutely no sense, and you're kind of left we're it's like scientists are left saying then what happens in the last filter is affecting what happened in the middle filter, which makes no sense at all. But we are way out
Interesting.
of my uh, depth here.
Interesting. What is that called again? What where did
It's a YouTube. The what's it called? It's from a channel called Minute Physics. I'll just pull it up and then I'll
physics?
show you. I watched it last night. Minute Physics polarized. It is. It's this one right here. Bell's theorem, the quantum Venn diagram paradox. So that's the video right there.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, man. But I had one more question, man. I think I asked you this, but um, I don't know. I completely forgot I forgot your answer, honestly. Um, yeah. So do you think the world was determined? Like, do you think that it was determined that this would happen?
What the is my? Sorry, my app
You're
was
good.
like doing weird shit. Do I think it
You're
was
good.
determined that this world would happen? I mean, I feel like you kind of asked me this earlier, so
Yeah, I forgot
my
your answer.
answer
My
is
bad.
sort of like yes and no in a weird sense. I think we live in a deterministic universe, so it was sort of bound to happen, you know.
Man, but the world being balanced—that's such a damn. I just can't sit with that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know.
I mean, it is a little weird. Like, do you believe in God?
Yes, I'm Christian.
Well, doesn't God know everything?
Doesn't God know everything? Yes, I say God is all knowing.
Yeah, and everything that happens is done according to His will. So, in your worldview, like even this conversation, God knew we were going to have it forever ago. So we could never have not had this conversation.
No, I know that, but I'm like saying from an atheist. Well, I hope you're atheist, or yeah, you're
I'm an
atheist. So
agnostic atheist.
agnostic atheist. Okay, well, yeah. So I mean, I'm judging it from your worldview, though. Like, to say that it's a yes and no from your worldview, that it's is it it's a hard take from your worldview. I don't know how I could have that take in your world. I don't understand.
Well, if nature is governed by uh, immutable natural law, then uh, where's the wiggle room for things to have been any different? You know.
Yeah, actually, it's because really, if everything is just so astronomically fine tuned, to less than, you know millimeters, and if everything is so, yeah, astronomically fine tuned, that's the wiggle room. That is quite literally, the billions and billions of space that we have, like, not that we have, but space that exists. It's that's the wiggle room, right? It's like the chances of something happening put in numbers wise is impossible. It's zero, you know.
I'm not
But
totally
so
sure what you mean. I mean, it almost sounds like you're talking about two different things. Like, um, things could have happened differently. I agree with that, but that's not the
mhm.
same thing as whether or not things are determined or not, if that makes sense.
Okay, so say that one more time. Sorry.
Um, like, I wonder if there's like a better way I can put it. Like I flip a coin, it lands on heads, right? Well, it could
Okay.
have landed on tails, but that doesn't say anything about um like but at the same time, like if I could build a robot that like perfectly flips a coin every single time, and it always flips it in the exact same way, so like I know how it's going to land, you know. So the coin can land on tails. And like with the universe could have looked different because the fundamental constants or whatever could have been had different arrangements and whatever. But that's not the same thing as because it could have turned out a different way doesn't mean that the reality we experience doesn't progress in a deterministic way.
Okay. Okay, I understand.
Did Thomas Crapper really invent the toilet? How did Soviet era famines give us Tony the Tiger? How did Sigmund Freud's nephew use bananas to start a 36-year civil war? You can learn all about these and hundreds of stories in my new book, Facts That Aren't True. Link in the description.